Good afternoon, everybody, or morning, I should say. It's actually almost about 8 in the morning. I having to get up a little earlier today because I went to bed earlier last night, and today I put a little lipstick on like I did yesterday. This time I did it better. I think I nailed it right this time. Right more coverage. I won't know until I actually see the video. Today we're going to talk about a couple different political things, and then we're also going to talk about other things. Now, first of all, I made a mistake of one of the donators' names. Her name is Terry Margraf, not Ma. There's an R, so it's Margraf, not Magraf. I apologize, Terry, for screwing up on your name. Okay. One video I'm also doing was a comparison of LCDs to the CRT monitors. I don't know if my iPhone camera is really in focus or if it's my eyes that are out of focus, but when I look at the video through the iPhone screen, it looks great. And when I look at it on the iMovie, it looks fuzzy and out of focus. Now, of course, it was getting dark last night at the time of the demonstration, so it could be a combination of both. I'm going to put that one on here, or at least excerpts of it, so you can see how I feel about LCDs versus CRTs. Like always, my hair is growing out. I do have a hair appointment scheduled for the 8th of October, so hopefully by that time, within a few weeks, I will be easing up on the videos a bit to allow for my hair to grow out, because I look ugly when my hair is growing out. It just looks nasty and I don't like it, and unfortunately my hairstylist thought it would be a bad idea to do it twice a month. Besides, it costs me about some money each time, so it's not like I'm getting a bonus round for free. Let's see what else. Well, what about our video? Okay, Lumi's video. Folks, I know it's awkward. We have two channels, and you're right, it is awkward. But Lumi has a completely different set of topics than I do. She talks about many different things, including spirituality and ascension topics, where I like to talk more about technology in more or less day-by-day topics. We sometimes do crossovers. We do crossover to each other's channel to help keep the audiences on their toes. But it's really getting kind of unfair to see that I'm getting all the viewership and she's getting really nobody. What do you think that is? Maybe it's because my topics are too specialized for most people to watch. It also could be because my channel's only existed since March of this year. Yeah, I'd say that you're right on both angles. I don't think it's so much that nobody likes you or nothing. I think it's just a matter of your channel's so new. Whereas mine's been around for 2 years. March of 2011. It's hard to believe. It was my very first video I ever did. I was a nervous wreck. My hair looked like crap. And I remember it was a rainy day. And if you have the Snow Queen Moments download, you will know it. And you can see it in the Snow Queen Moments. I did get the original Snow Queen Moments DVD from the person who had my backup, and so I was going to rip it and put it onto my website, and that's all great, but you realize that the video is over an hour long, and and it's in DV compressed format, so it's not really like really tiny. It's a DVD. So it's like 2 or 3 gigabytes just in size alone by itself. It's would make storing a video like that in a compressed form very difficult to do. Because why don't you go ahead and just extract that section and then just put the original video back up on YouTube for historical sake. The reason why the video originally alone ended up being the very first video was taken down off of YouTube was because of the music that was in it. Oh, okay, yeah. And I keep forgetting about that. That was the introductory piece. That was the introductory piece, right? With Tarzan Truman and I Walk Alone in a Winter Storm. So that makes it kind of harder because we've talked about that before about the copyrights and stuff on YouTube. So I'm not going to go through and rehash that again. And just to say is that yes, the video. I am not used to lipstick at all. I noticed that. It's like I feel like I got wax all over my mouth, all over my lips. Ugh. Protection from chapping. I don't think that's my problem right now. Okay. Can we go back to the work? Yeah. Okay. So you did a video on LCD versus the CRT monitors. And when you were editing the video on iMovie, you saw that the video, because it was shot with your iPhone, seemed to have camera shake and camera jiggle. We see it a lot, even with the regular vlogs from the soup kitchen too. That excuse me. Sometimes the resolution. I mean, it says when you get the phone, read the specs. It says 640 by 480. Yeah. But this camera here is 640 by 480. That looks better. Looks a lot clearer than on the one on my iPhone. Speaking of iPhones, I got a few pieces of information I'd like to share with Apple, if you mind, so to speak. Fire a warning shot across their bow. You people are starting to annoy me. Honestly, I'm talking about the company. Your products are over right now. The difference between the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 5 is really nothing. The difference between the 5S and the 5, besides the speed increase, is a fingerprint sensor. So I guess the S is supposed to stand for security in this case. Yeah, supposedly. Or sensor, one or the other. However, either way you look at it, they're very expensive. Even the iPhone 5C is not going to be for under $600. I'm talking about outright cost, not with contract. I think that, and since it only works with lightning port cables, and lightning port cables only work with iTunes 11 and newer, it will not work on my Power Mac G5. I hate to say it, but Apple, but thumbs down, okay? I can't buy a phone like the 5S or the 5 and use it on my computer because it doesn't support the PowerPC, because your iMovie or your iTunes has not been ported to Power Mac G5s. First of all, don't stop trying to expect that everybody is going to go out there and spend a couple $1,000s to buy a new computer to match a new phone. Okay? You have clearly blew it again. Okay? You have lost it. You have lost you're losing your fan base. You're losing your investor base. And let's be honest, I don't know what iOS 7 looks like because I can't use iOS 7 because I got a 3GS. I can certainly tell you that I wish to God that my iPhone had a better camera for videos. No doubt about that. I mean, you can watch the other video. I worked hard to clean that lens in that phone, make sure it was clean when I did that video. And I have to tell you that because it was getting dark, the sensor was probably having some hard time with light output. Now I'm not going to go ahead and get that equipment set up again for another live demonstration. Okay, so it's one of the reasons I'm going to show you briefly at the end of this segment about where the we stand as far as technology and the monitors go. Now, also want to talk to you about political stuff today. You know it has to come up, right? It always does. Somebody's always going to mention Politico. I'm growing more and more disenfranchised with the situation with our government. Okay, teabaggers. Unfortunately, I am a part of the Tea Party movement, but I'm more of a moderate. I'm not really a hardcore. I try to look at things from both points of view. Are in Congress rightfully pointing out is that Obamacare is an expense we cannot afford. Other Republicans just said, well, you should just grin and bear it because, it'd be easier. And which is what the Democrats want. Democrats want us to spend even more money and increasing the debt ceiling so that they can fund more NSA projects and Department of Homeland Security and FEMA things. Why in the hell are we supporting the Department of Homeland Security? Why do they need to buy billions of dollars of ammunition? And why in the hell do we have to keep giving NSA money? The NSA should be working with private contractors. This is the kind of information that they seem to both like. Google would love to have NSA type data and access to technology, so they can market products to more people. Maybe the government should sell the NSA surveillance program to the highest private bidder who wants to buy it. If they really think it's going to make money, some people will buy it from you. But trying to go out there and try to ram our down our throat asking for more money and for a black budget, which we don't even see on an everyday basis. The black budgets are closed to us. They are a portion of the budget that are secret. They're not public. And the NSA is under this budget. As is a lot of other military operations. This is ridiculous that we are allowing all this kind of stuff to keep happening to our people. If you don't stand up and fight for what's right, you're going to lose everything. I'm just telling you right now that the government is planting a false flag. Our government has plans supposedly to enact a FEMA power blackout drill, which I don't think is going to be no simulated accident. They're going to deliberately probably cut the power on you, and you're going to be sitting in the dark for a few days. Our government is concerned about the infrastructure going poof. And I'm not saying that they're not right. But they've already got the weapons, tanks, shields, body bags, MREs, and lots and lots and lots and lots of bullets. But yet they're trying to go around the country and trying to confiscate the firearms of law-abiding Americans who have registered equipment. I don't think this is acceptable. I think this sucks. I'll be honest with you. I think our country has lost track with what's important to it. We have to stand behind everything. We have to stand behind our Constitution. We gotta defend our Constitution. But we also have to make sure that we allow our own people have got to stand up and say, not in my backyard. You are not taking away my civil rights as specified in the Bill of Rights of the Constitution. The first 10th Amendments. You're not taking away my freedom for pursuit of happiness. You're not taking away my right to free speech. You're not taking away my ability protection from unlawful search and seizure. You're not taking away any of that stuff because we cannot allow you to do that. Americans are beginning to stand up, and we are beginning to say to the Congress, enough's enough of your games. Now you're either with us and standing for the Constitution, or you're against us. That's what it comes down to. Americans have already said to Congress that we're sick and tired of you go ahead and worrying about the big upper crust, middle class lobbyists that can spend money to support your campaign. You work for me. I'm an American citizen. I was born and raised in this country. I was taught to respect the red, white, and blue. And you know what? So were many of you. So why are you allowing these so-called big business people to tell you what the American people want? Listen to your own constituents. Get on the phone with them. Listen to what they tell you. Don't just have your aides do it. You get on the phone too. You talk to the average John and Jane Doe American. You find out what's bothering that person. By the way, also related to something that is going to probably be coming to the United States shortly. In fact, it already did, and since the beginning in the form of sequester. A European austerity has already demonstrated that it is the potential of destroying Europe's financial stability for protection for the poor and the disenfranchised. Whole generations of families in Europe could see a significant lower cost of living, standard of living, because of the different austerity programs such as in Italy, Greece, and the UK and Ireland. Let me tell you something that's coming here, honey. I hate to say that, but it's true. You cannot expect our government is going to keep funding programs we can't afford. And I hate to say it, Obamacare is one of those programs that we cannot afford. Obama, let me just say one thing to you. Would you be willing to allow for temporary defunding until you guys can get your budget balanced and start showing a profit? And that we can start paying more than the minimum payment due to each and every single country that we owe money to. I know it's your favorite little baby, and I know that you intended to do good with it, but the timing was just lousy. You came up with this program just when the United States could not afford it. We never fixed the budget yet. We never got things straightened out, and we can't afford to keep going like that. So would you be willing to work with the Republicans right now, and the Democrats, you too? Just agree to temporarily furlough Obamacare mandates until you guys can come up and show the United States is making a budget surplus. You can make a budget surplus by canceling programs and cutting funding to programs that are clearly not in the best interests of American citizens. The National Security Agency program is certainly one of them. Privatize it. sell it to the highest bidder. I'm sure Google would be interested in it. Okay? The CIA, why doesn't they do the same job as the NSA? Why don't you combine the CIA and the NSA together, since the two are related to each other, in its integrity of trying to gather information? Okay? Actually, why don't you combine them with the FBI? Considering the fact that the FBI is also involved with Federal Bureau of Investigation, certainly does work with the Central Intelligence Agency, which does work with the National Security Agency. It would make sense to combine it all as one big project. Also, I'd like to know why in the hell we need to have you guys going out there and telling us that we can't have guns, and you're going out there and you're buying up ammunition like there's no tomorrow. And then you short stuff the people who are licensed gun owners from being able to acquire the ammunition that they need for everyday lawful purposes. I'm not saying firearms are great. I don't have a firearm. I'm not interested in firearms. But I certainly respect those who do. Those people who lawfully operate firearms in this country, who have done everything within the letter of the law, with permits, regulations, everything, are entitled to bear arms. It says in the Constitution, the right to bear arms, in the Second Amendment. It also, when we say bear arms, it doesn't just mean guns, although guns certainly are the most popular means. Armaments can mean anything from a baseball bat to a kitchen knife, to a sword, to a mace, to a crossbow, to anything that will protect. Even the rumored pitchfork is an armament. We have the right to have a weapon, but some of us choose not to use that right. But it's there, if I choose to exercise it. So that's something to think about. Anyway, so coming up next, what we're going to do is we're going to combine you some of the LCD versus CRT footage. Both the LCD and the CRT were shot with the same phone. Unfortunately, as I said, the quality isn't quite there, but it does happen sometimes. So for now, I also want you to remember to keep watching our videos and keep up with them. There's a lot of new stuff coming out, and there's new technology, and there's new experimentation. I will be on the forefront of technology, and this monitor review was certainly pretty interesting in its own right. Now, these are older monitors, they're not new ones, so that they are a little bit limiting in the capabilities. But they're very pretty monitors, they're a nice match set. So, with no further ado, let's go to the video. Again, this is MicheleMarieDalene, North American Snuck Queen, and I'm going to show you the monitors. I tried to show you this a little earlier. And these are the two monitors that Terry McGrath had sent me. And I'm trying to demonstrate them. But there's a couple of things about the monitors because they're older monitors that do bother me. The good news is that the monitors do not have any cracks in the screens. They are in very good shape. And they are white, and they don't show any significant yellowing at all in the material. And the contrast is pretty good. But unfortunately, I was going to show you, just briefly, these monitors only can do 1024 by 768. They don't have the ability to do anything really high resolution. And unfortunately, I was going to show you the scanner. To show you the scanner was working, only to find that, to my dismay, that the SCSI scanner is playing games again. And if you ever been around my Mac long enough, you know that my system is a hodgepodge machine. It's got a lot of different odds and ends. A lot of plugins and add-ons, and I guess it's just kind of the way I like it. It doesn't really make any sense. It just, there you go. There's the scanner now. That's the scanner. That's the X36. The scanner that we have here, the 636EL. That's actually the scan maker. Okay. And it's a pretty high quality scanner. It's a 600 DPI. But one thing about this monitor that I don't like is because it is, you can do that, like that. When you can do that, you can slide things around between the two screens. That's a lot, sometimes that works out pretty great, especially if you're doing like big jobs or video editing or something like that. So unfortunately with my eyesight, it's really, really hard to use both of these monitors like this because you gotta basically track the things down with your eyeballs, and I'm really have a hard time doing that. So, anyway, the good news is that it does work, but I just don't know. Another thing too about these monitors, really quick, is they're very low profile. Let me just turn this off so it doesn't confuse it here, because the other one's the same. So, these are what they call low profile monitors. Whereas the ScanMaster from Samsung SyncMaster was a higher profile, meaning that it was raised higher from the table. So, which means the bottom of the monitor would be about right where my finger was, so I could easily see it. Now, for me to see the taskbar, I'm going to just go back over here so you can see me. I have to get like really close, almost like to right here, to see it. Let me just back on so you can now see what I'm talking about here. Here we have, underneath here we have the taskbar icons, which is what I was going to show you. The problem is they're so low down that I have to get like almost like freaking right on top of them to see them. Yeah, I know, I could put them in maybe like a platform or something underneath. Actually, I might have two bricks, regular masonry bricks that can put underneath, one underneath each monitor's platform to raise it up. But the other thing too is that I give up my resolution for this kind of setup, which kind of really kind of sucks. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to show you now another thing with these monitors I don't like is the most of my videos, websites are not really that graphical anyway. But if you pull in video and there's a lot of video motion, these monitors do not have the kind of sync rate that it's not going to smear. So I'm going to show you briefly. This product picture is pretty okay. I had some problems with this earlier. It has nothing to do with the monitor, so please don't think the monitor is the problem. But you will notice that the one problem is now instead of having a huge desktop where I can have like layers of icons below it, this iMovie screen takes up the almost entire visual frame. So it's really hard if you want to cut and paste things from iPhoto in here instead of the way I like to do it. Another thing I'm going to show you is if we play our video, you may notice that unfortunately you'll notice too that my iPhone is doing, just doing this monitor grave disjustice because of the way. So I'm gonna pull and you'll probably will not really see too much here, but there is a bit of a smear issue. Oh yeah, sorry my hair looks like crap. That's the monitor and then the iPhone together are accenting the worst of the worst. You can see the roots growing in on my hair. And if you look at it actually on my monitor here, it's not that bad. But what is also obviously clear, I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see here, is that the other problem I'm running into with these monitor is on my eyesight is if you look at the vlog, you probably can't see too much on here So let me make sure, okay, so we can see here. Okay, this, it's really hard for me to read that. So let me pull this back up here. It looks pretty good, but I'm also noticed that on my iPhone is that sometimes you see a herringbone pattern. This is the type of pattern I was seeing with the Samsung as well. I don't see that with the CRT monitor. The CRT monitor has other issues like rasters, but for the most part, this thing is pretty good. I just don't really know what I'm going to do with the two little monitors because I don't really use too much dual head setup very often. Most of the time, I only use one monitor at a time because it's just easier to work on it. So, I mean, we have these two little monitors, and they're working and everything, and they're really kind of cute. Another problem, too, in fact, while we're at it here, you've already seen the big monitor work. The other monitor is just, I don't know, it just seems a little more comfortable to me to work with that bigger monitor, even though realistically it really takes a lot of desk space and it throws a lot of BTUs heat out in here and it gets really warm. But the CRT monitor for the most part is still kind of my favorite. The Sync Master in the other room isn't so bad either. These monitors would work fine if you like white. Now, in order for me to use these white monitors to complement my desk, I would have to get, well, actually the same thing is true with my other monitor. Is that really you should have a white keyboard and a white mouse. Terry McGrath did give me a white Microsoft Explorer mouse with track wheel. This is my older trackball because the other kind unfortunately is out, so it's, you know, it's gonna go back and forth on the table. Not really what I call a comfortable way to work, especially for some things. But well, you know how that is. That's life, I guess. So anyway, so that's it. The monitors do work, they do appear to have a lot of neat functions. But I don't think this LCD technology is really as nice as some would like to brag. I kind of already miss my 1600 by 1200 resolution monitor. So I'm going to put that back on here, even though it is a bigger monitor and it is a heat thrower. Okay, now I got the same setup now that I was showing you earlier. And that is, we have our other monitor hooked up. Now let me show you what the difference is between this one and the monitor that we just showed you. First of all, it's a CRT base, which that's obvious. But here's the thing. Notice I said these are high profile icons up here in the bottom. They're easy to see. Okay? Now, let's pull back so you can see what I'm talking about. You'll see that it's easy for me to see it. I'm trying to pull my phone back so you can see it. The icons are a lot easier to see. Another thing is, and you'll notice, is that you have, remember before where the other monitor was virtually taking up the entire screen with the iMovie screen. Now, I did not resize the screen. I left it pretty much stock. I did do is I had a computer monitor select the right one. Now, look at this. That is 1280 by 1024. That's not. I'm not limited to that. I can go right to 1600 by 1200. Now, when you do that, that scans a lot faster. But you can see that it really it gives me a lot of space. I can edit things and do a lot of things. But for demonstration purposes, it seems that when using the iPhone, it needs to go for a slightly slower speed. So I'm going to go back to 1280 by 1024 since that seems to work good for demonstration with CRT-based monitors. You could probably try other modes as well. I will do some testing with that at a later time. Basically, this is probably about the best one for demonstration purposes. And also, like I said before, the monitor is easier for me to see it. And here's the icons here in the bottom. Remember before, the icon bar was like right where the controls are. Here was where the bar was. Now the bar is up here, which makes it easier to see. This is not an LCD monitor, but it just turns out I like the CRT look much better, and it's much easier on my eyes.